Alright guys, got another interesting find here. This is a 2016 Buick Enclave. It's got about 8,000 miles on it. The original complaint was the customer said that every once in a while they'd hear a noise coming from the vehicle that lasts for a few seconds and then shut off. Didn't know what kind of noise it was. They said it was a buzzing noise in the back of the car. So we couldn't figure it out, couldn't duplicate it. And it brought it back again, this time now the check engine light's on. So, over here I'll show you the codes I retrieved. I got P129D, which as you can see there, fuel pump driver control module, circuit low voltage. The other one I had here, P1682. And this one is also an ignition circuit malfunction. What got really interesting though is when I started working with the car, and all of a sudden just randomly out of the blue I would hear the noise the customer was talking about originally, and it's a fuel pump. Every once in a while, for some reason, the fuel pump kicks on this thing with the keys, the ignition in the off position, keys out of the vehicle, locked and everything. All of a sudden, just randomly, the fuel pump will kick on its own, completely. No keys in the car, nothing. So I'm thinking I've got a short to voltage somewhere, an intermittent short to voltage that's commanding the fuel pump control module on and turning the fuel pump on. But I don't know where that short's at. That would make sense why it's set in the ignition circuit codes. So I just got to figure out what's going on here. I'll fill you in as I go along with this repair here. It may end up being a module. It could end up being a wiring issue. Let's see. So of course the first thing to do, at least what I do with diagnosing, is punch the codes in, see if there's any bulletins or common issues. And I started with 1682 because this is a code that was set in the engine control module. But as I scrolled down to circuit testing, I found a note here. It says a short to voltage on other components may cause this code to set. If any other DTC is set, diagnose the DTC first. So even though that's a different code there, I still decided to go ahead and start with the P192D, or 129 rather. So I referred to code P129D, and this was a pretty quick and easy circuit system testing procedure here. So I tell you to disconnect the fuel pump driver module, driver control module there. You want to make sure that a test lamp illuminates between the ignition circuit, terminal 6 and ground, like you can see right there. So I'll go over to my other tab here. We can see that terminal 6 is a pink wire, circuit number 439. Now I go over here to my diagram. Here is 439 right here. This comes from the underhood fuse block. There's a 10 amp fuse. That goes down to the fuel pump driver control module, as you can see right here. So when I turn the ignition on, as you can see, IGN is ignition voltage, B plus is battery voltage. So when I turn the ignition on, as I'll show you here, the test lamp illuminates. So that means our circuit's good. Turn the ignition off, test light goes off. There's really not much else you can do. I jiggled the wires around, couldn't really find anything else. So I go back to the instructions here in service information. They tell you if the test lamp illuminates, replace the fuel pump driver control module. And that's it. A simple 3-step procedure right there. I got that done in about 5 minutes. It didn't take long at all. So I got to thinking about it, and I did remember that a while ago on certain model years they actually recalled that little module. I'll show you where it's at here. In my opinion, it wasn't really the best place for this module because it's so exposed. Right up there is that module. So you can see here's your rear differential. You got your wheels over there. This module is actually pretty exposed. And for a while, until they fixed it on the older models, they recalled these modules
because they were being contaminated with water and dirt, grime, and stuff splashing up or bouncing up there and hitting the module and damaging it. So they relocated these. But I mean, in my opinion, I think it's still kind of in a poor location. Something like that should go inside the vehicle. But it's on the outside. There's a connector for it right there. So according to SI, the fix for this is going to be to install a new module. So let's go ahead and put a new module in.
I got the new module installed. Wasn't really anything special to see there, so I didn't take a video. It was just a few bolts and the old one drops out. Put the new one in, plug the vehicle into SPS, program it, clear the codes. I'm just gonna start it up a few times here. Now, according to service information, the code will set if the voltages disagree with each other for more than 1 second. So I'll let it run for a bit. Open the door, put the modules to sleep. Some of them, they won't go completely asleep all the way for a few minutes, but I like to open the door just because it shuts the radio off and other things, disables more communication. Start it up again. Do this about 3 times, just to make sure that the code doesn't reset. So far, so good. Now, another thing I like to do, just in case, even though there's no check engine light, I still like to just plug the scan tool in. And as you can see, no codes. So that's 3 ignition cycles and no code has come back. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it fixed, put the vehicle back in service.